Very good morning to all of you. My name is Praveen, and I'm the VP for Products at Unwired. I'm your host for today's session. The topic for today's discussion is operational excellence and how the Unwired suite of mobile applications is helping companies achieve that. So before we get started, with the presentation itself, some housekeeping instructions for all the participants on the call today. So on your screen, since you have logged in, you're going to see a bar at the bottom of your screen wherein you have the ability to have questions, queued up for me to answer. So I'll try and take these questions up at the end of the session, and we will get them answered for you. Right? So we're going to have offer that is running here. So for all the participants on this call today, we have a free POC that Unwired is going to offer. So that's just something that you keep in mind. Okay. So the agenda for today's meeting. So we're going to talk a little bit about what Unwired does and some of the applications that Unwired builds. We look at some case studies, and then finally we're going to have a demo as well. So let's jump straight into the webinar today. Yeah? So a little bit about Unwired before we get started. So Unwired is a Houston-headquartered company with its R&D in India, Bangalore. So we have customers, all across the globe, and our global footprint is increasing with each passing day. So Unwired specializes in the enterprise mobility space. So we build enterprise applications for SAP, Oracle, Salesforce, and all these backend systems. We also have a bots platform that provides enterprises an alternative channel to communicate with their enterprise systems. We also build, custom mobile applications for end users. At Unwired, we believe in the mission that we have at Unwired is to make enterprises achieve true digital transformation. So here is some of the recognitions that we have received in the last few years, and the most recent being a mention in the Gartner's Magic Quadrant for multi-experience development platform. So all of this information is something which I'll also share with you in the slides after the session. So some of the key areas that we have our solutions, or which our solutions are being used in, is in the oil and gas, chemicals, manufacturing, utilities. So we have customers all across the globe in these industry verticals who use our solutions. And we have some of our reference customers also highlighted there for your reference. So let's get to the mood point of today's discussion, which is operational excellence, right? And how the Unwired suite of mobile applications enables companies achieve the operational excellence. So before we look at some of these key points which have been highlighted here, we need to understand what are the impediments or hindrances that prohibit companies from achieving true operational excellence. So let's take 2 points and then discuss that a little more in detail, right? Traditionally, companies have conducted their business on paper, and that continues even to this day, right? Companies are very conservative and they do not want to invest in technology, so they continue to use Excel sheets and paper-based processes, to do business, to conduct their business. So one of the problems with using paper in your business processes is the number of people who are required to conduct that process. So you need a team which is preparing these templates, printing these sheets out, and then you have another set of people who take these paper forms, go into the field, perform their activity, make some notes, and then when the job is done, they come back in the evening and then hand it over to the data entry team. And they're the ones who actually translate all of this information into that backend systems. So what we're seeing here is the number of people that are involved, the issues with the data redundancy, data inaccuracies. So all of these, make it a very inefficient process, to apply in your plant. The other thing which is an impediment is access to the information at the right time, right? So even though we talk about a digital world where everybody has a phone, we have a 5G networks which are going to be commonplace very soon. Despite having access to all the speed and the latest devices, right? People still don't have access to the data that they really need, when they're in the field to do their jobs. So it could be access to a document, or it could be access to a work permit. If all of this information could be made accessible to the user would not have to run around and talk to many different people and kind of waste time in the field, which of course leads to a lot of productivity loss. So the moment you invest in technology and the moment you start having these digital transformation initiatives in your plant, right? What happens is your processes get streamlined, and you're able to start recording data. You have a history of data on which you can perform some analytics, predictive analytics, and you can due to which you can have better plant uptime and increase in wrench time, and all of these are benefits of actually adopting a digital transformation initiatives. And if anything, in the last 6 months, if companies have learned anything, is that not investing in technology is not an option anymore, right? All those enterprises that haven't invested in technology have found the last 6 months very difficult to operate in. And this is the right time for actually companies to start on their digital transformation journeys. So how is Unwired enabling companies achieve that digital transformation, right? So at Unwired, we have a suite of applications, be it the inspector inspections, operator rounds, or with the work order solutions, electronic work packages, inventory management. So we have a suite of mobile apps which are used to target specific processes in your maintenance activities. The focus for today's discussion is going to be the Unwired EAM application, which you'll also see a live demo of. And I'll definitely walk you through that and see how it benefits your processes in the field. So talking about the Unwired EAM, Enterprise Asset Management solution, right? So this solution is an SAP certified solution. It is certified for integration with your S4 HANA system and also with SAP ECC. So it provides you a very flexible deployment model. You could have this solution deployed on your cloud, on-premise, or a hybrid, wherein our solution is on the cloud and then your infrastructure runs on-premise, right? So it's very flexible. The solution is available for use on all three platforms: iOS, Android, and Windows for you. We have the ability to integrate with any hardware device of your choice. I'm going to show you how we integrate barcode printing and scanning in one of the demos out here today. The solution is completely offline capable. So in areas where there's no connectivity, you can still have access to all the information that you need to conduct your business. The ability to navigate your your work information using maps is also something that we have as a part of this solution. So I have a couple of screenshots from some of the other solutions at Unwired. This is the Unwired Planning and Scheduling app, because work execution is something which comes as a second step. The first step is to actually be able to plan your work and then schedule it and assign the resources to it. So we have an Unwired Planning and Scheduling application that allows you to do it. This is something which we can discuss more in detail in another session. We also have the digital work permits solution, which enable you to completely eliminate the use of paper in your plant and have all these paper converted into digital representations, and those can be accessed and filled on your choice of mobile devices. So this is another solution that we have. And so, I mean, what are the benefits of digital transformation? So we have reduced maintenance costs, increase in safety and compliance, and time savings, and increase in wrench time. So all these are the benefits of going digital. A couple of case studies quickly before we dive into the demo. So one of the companies that we helped achieve digital transformation is for a company in US, Kaneka America Holdings, a Houston-based company, chemical company. They started off their journey with the rounds and inspections solution as a trial, and when they started seeing the benefits of doing their operator rounds on their iPads, they quickly went ahead and then digitized their work order execution processes and the inventory management processes. They started employing barcode scanning and then printing labels and all of that. And the use of the SharePoint InfoPath forms as an alternative for paper-based processes, so that all these forms could be filled digitally and stored in SharePoint. So it's a very interesting case study. So maybe that is something which you can also take a look at. And another case, another customer of ours is in the utility space in New Zealand called Well Networks. So they also use our application for the kind of volume of information that they had to process. So anybody from the utilities industry would understand the kind of volumes of data that you're dealing with, right? 5,000 equipments, 10,000 different locations, and being able to navigate through all this information through intuitive map-based navigation is something that they achieved through the Unwired suite of mobile apps. So this is another interesting case study that you can take a look at. But having said that, so all of this information is going to be available to you. My colleague is going to send them to you after this webinar. But let's get straight into the demonstration of the application itself, right? Okay. So what you will be seeing on your screens right now is the Unwired Rounds and Work Orders application. So the Unwired Rounds and Work Orders application is a role-based solution that gives access to a lot of functionality that would generally be used in the area of plant maintenance in SAP. So one of the pain points that I mentioned earlier in the discussion today was having access to the information that you need and having offline access to the information that you really need when executing your jobs in the field, right? So what you're seeing on your screen is different tiles, and each tile gives you access to a functional area in plant maintenance. So one of the most important things that users need in the field is access to the plant information. So what are the list of equipments that I have in my plant? What are the locations? Some details, access to the maintenance manuals, spare part manuals, and all of this information, having access to it even when you're offline. So what you're seeing here is a list of all the equipment that I'm operating on in my rig, and I can always switch to the location view where I can switch to the locations and look at the list of all the functional locations that I have. And coming back to the equipment view, so let's take the example of an electric pump. So the user, he's walking around the field, and then he feels that he needs some information on his equipment. He just pulls this information up. You could also use, if your equipments are tagged, then you could use a barcode scanner or an RFID reader and then scan it, and then you can just pull up your equipment. That's possible, right? So you have some access to the information here. Then you have some additional information about the equipment. So if you look at all the tabs at the bottom of your screen, it gives you a lot of information about what this equipment is, the manufacturer, the location, some classification information that you may have stored for this equipment, in SAP. If it has any sub-items, measuring points for this particular equipment, historical information. So if you want to look at the history of maintenance that has been performed on a particular equipment or a notification, right? So you can always go here and then get the historical information for equipments and function locations. And then you also have the ability to access documents. So here, as you can see, there are some documents which are available for this equipment. So when I click on this downloaded information, so I'm just going to see. Yeah, so this is a PDF file that I have, which gives me instructions on how this installation and maintenance of this pump needs to happen, right? So you have access to all of these documents readily available, and so the users don't really have to be reliant on somebody else to give that information to them when they need that in the field. So this data is available offline, and we provide the ability to access documents from any document management system. It could be OpenText, it could be SharePoint, or it could be a file system or an SAP. It doesn't matter. So all of that document will be available on the mobile device for the users to use. So once you have the equipment details that you're looking at, you can also go into the hierarchical view and then look at the location of this equipment in the enterprise structure. So you have the complete bill of material. So you can see all the spare parts that are relevant for this particular equipment. You can you can get the hierarchical view, and then if you want to really expand a certain structure, because the structure that you're seeing is what is relevant for your work at this point in time. But then if you feel that you need to expand and download a certain other branch in the tree, right? So you can always click that download button and then expand that particular hierarchy. So, and that will blow up all the equipments and the function locations in that particular location. So here, this one did not have anything. So let me just go back, one level up and see if we can get some more, function locations. So once you have this, function location hierarchy, you can get into the details of any equipment from anywhere within this hierarchical view, and you can retrieve, the details of that particular technical object. And what you can also do in this screen is, okay, so I'm connecting to my backend system, so hopefully the connections should be stable enough to get some data. Okay, there you go. So we have a complete hierarchy that we expanded, and from within the hierarchy, I can get into the details of any other equipment that I would want to, and then look at those details. So that's definitely possible. Now, when I'm in this equipment, contextually, what I can also do is capture the GPS coordinate or create a order or a notification from this particular script, right? So creating a notification is very simple. So when I'm looking at an equipment, I just go in and say, hey, something seems to be wrong with this equipment. Let me create a notification. So the equipment information is copied into the notification, and the notification type, I can say create a maintenance request, and I can choose a priority saying it's a high electric pump. Okay, so and if I want to enter the failure mode, I can enter that. I can enter the planning plant. I can enter the planning group, the main work center, and then I can say mechanic. I can assign a person if I want to from my organization structure. So the required dates for the maintenance is something which I can easily put in and then save it, right? So the moment I've done that, I have created a notification in the application, which I can then add more detail on. So it's as simple as this. So from having access to your technical objects, you can easily create notifications, right? So what I'm doing is I'm just coming into the notification style over here, so that I can just show you what exactly happened. So this electric pump maintenance required is something which I just created. And with the bare minimum basic information, I was able to create a notification. Now, if I want to add more details on the notification, I can always come back to the notification work center, and then I can go to the items tab. And then if I want to capture any object part, damage, and cause information, that I can easily do that. So let me just show you how it's done. So here I go and say that pipes, and then I'm going to say pump. Belt, okay, pump damage, friction well, right? I can save this, and I can add these structured damages and causes and all of that, right? So if I want to add any activity, I can always go here and say that, okay, perform this, and then I have the list of all the code groups that I have, and I can just quickly pull them up and then say that, okay, this is the activity that needs to be performed to fix this pump or something like that. What I can also do is go to the document section and then take a picture quickly. So I'm just going to take a picture over here. And then it's as simple as that. I could either take a picture or upload a document from the device itself. I can also toggle the user statuses. I can say open, completed, released. So I'm just creating a notification. So I will not be setting any statuses. Maybe I can just get that to start it. And then once I've done that, I can either hit the submit button from here, or I can go to the main screen here, and then I can hit the submit button. So you see all these visual cues that are available to users saying that, hey, look, this notification is a new notification, which does not have a number yet. And this notification is something that you've just added, on your device. So these visual cues are available to the user so that he understands what exactly the application is doing for him. So let's go ahead and then submit this notification. So when I submit this notification, the application asks me if this notification needs to be submitted in the foreground or the background. So this is where I told you that the unwired suite of mobile apps are offline capable, in that when you have connectivity and you know that the connection is stable, you can always go in for a foreground submission, which is what I'm going to do now. And this will submit the information that you've captured to the SAP system in real time. so that the notification is created, the attachment is uploaded, and everything, the confirmation of that is also given to you in real time. The offline mode of operation allows you to work in situations wherein you know that there is no connectivity. Okay, so what we did was we did this notification here, 100002787. Let's just take a look at that. So this is the notification that I just created from the mobile device. So we have this created here for this, and then let's also look at the attachment list just to look at the notification, the picture that I attached. So okay, this just takes some time to load. So let's just pull this up again. Okay. So the online mode of, okay, so that's your document that I just attached along with the notification, and it's available to you in real time in the SAP system, right? As simple as that. Now, similarly, what happens is in areas where there's very poor connectivity, sometimes what happens is you're not able to submit the notifications or any data that you've captured in real time. So you would just use the offline mode, and that is something which I will show you in the context of the rounds or the work orders, right? Okay. Now, let's look at the work orders application now, the work orders type. So work orders is nothing but the ability to have access to all the jobs that you need to perform in the field, right, which are assigned to you. So you have a list of all these work orders, and you can see they have been classified here based on the, the time. Last week, last month, older than that. So you have a list of all these, work orders that you're working on. Every tile in the application has a, a similar look and feel, a list of items with the information, order number, associated notification, descriptions, priorities, and all that information, right? So if you have integration with a RFID or a barcode, you can always scan that and then, identify the work order based on the equipment very easily. Now, I'm just going to quickly look at, some of the details that you could have access to in your work order. So every work order has information about the equipment that you're servicing, the function location, of course, the work center information, the dates, the basic info. Then you have the operations. So what are the operations? Who's the person assigned to that operation? What is the time allocated? So that information is available to you. And then once you get into the operations, you have more details on the operation itself, right? If there's any long text information, you can have access to that. If you want to manipulate the status, let's say you start working on a particular operation, you can always edit it and then save and say that okay, in process, right? And you can save it. So that is how I can update the status of the work that is happening in the field to people who are monitoring it in the backend systems, right? The ability to confirm time. So time confirmation becomes very simple. So I say, okay, I want to confirm time on operation 10. The actual work is 2 hours, remaining work another 2 hours, and then I can say actual duration, I spent about 3 hours, start date, so end date would be now, and then comments if any, done. And then if there is any reason for fluctuation in my time that I've spent on this job, I can always pick something and then always submit this, so I can save. So that's how easy it is to actually also confirm time on your work orders, right? So not only can you confirm time, you can also confirm, you do a material confirmation on your work orders. So you have the material screen wherein you can quickly go here and say that, okay, look, I was performing this job and I had to issue a few materials from the warehouse for that. And I can always go here and then look up the list of all the spare parts that I have. So let me just pick something which has some stock in the system. Okay, so I can pick this material up and then say that, okay, I wanted this material for use on this particular operation. I use 2 quantities and then I require about 2 quantities again, right? So, and then I save this. So what happens is when I do this, I have added the material confirmation also to the work order. So similarly, I can also do long text and operation status and everything. Okay, user status, I can say in process and save. And I can also, have documents attached. So when I'm working on documents, sometimes what happens is when you've completed your job, you need somebody to sign off on that particular job, right? So you can say, okay, this is the job that I performed, and somebody who's going to be, signing off on the job, I can capture the signature and also associate that with the work orders. Now, one of the most important things that we also, one of the things that we touched upon in the discussion earlier is the ability to fill forms, paper-based forms in the context of the work that you're executing. Traditionally, what happens is people print forms and then they take it to the field, fill the forms, and also, the work order is also printed as on a piece of paper. So both the forms are filled and then they're filed in for somebody to, fill that back in the data entry, department, right? Now, with the integration of, your digital forms with the SAP work order solution, now you have one view to both your paper-based processes and your enterprise, activities. So work orders and forms are available to you in one single view. So here is a simple example of a form wherein, so this is just a simple mock-up of, a paper-based form that we have, which allows you to capture defects that you notice at the time of performing your job, right? So you can do this, air leak, yes, follow-up, investigate, block, descriptions, root cause, demo, cause, yeah? So I'm just going to put something in here. Then I'm going to say save, right? So this form has been filled in the context of this work order now. Very simple. Now, once I've done all of this, I can easily go here and then either from this or, the screen out here, I can do a submit. And let's see what happens when I hit the submit button, right? So here I hit submit, and then I'm going to say, I'm going to hit this in the foreground. So once I have submitted this work order, all of the documents and all of the forms that I have filled in the context of this particular work order will get submitted to SAP in real time. So let's just see that happen in a moment. Okay, work order was processed successfully, right? So once you've done that, now I'm going to quickly switch to the SAP system 820242, and let's take a look at that. Okay, so this is the work order that I just submitted, and let's look at the list of documents that we have submitted. So we have one signature that I captured and one form that I just submitted, right? So I'm just going to open this signature, and then let's take a look at that. Okay, so this is a signature that I captured from my device, which is associated with your work order in SAP in real time. That is done. And then let's look at the form that I just filled on the device, right? So I'm just going to open that form. And that form which I captured is something which is also associated with the work order in SAP and then available to you. So this is what I entered on that form. And then the cause was, demo cause, right? So that's exactly what I filled on the device. So you see how simple it is. Instead of having to fill paper, scan it, then again file it and attach it with the work order, the entire process is digitized. And then there is one single view for the users to use in the field. So this is about the SAP part of it, the work orders part of it. Now quickly, I'll go through the rounds solution. So inspections and rounds, basically what we're doing here is giving the operators the ability to walk around in the plant and inspect a list of equipment and capture the details, basically the measuring readings, right, of the important parameters. For example, in this rounds that I have here, we have a list of rounds, some of them which have been completed, which are indicated in green, and some of them which are still open, which are in orange. I can get in here, and then, so this is a list of equipment that I'm inspecting. I can get inside, and then what I'm capturing here is the operating hours. Operating hours last recorded value was 13, and now it is 14, right? So I can do that. I can also look at the history, and it gives me a list of all the measurement readings that have happened in the recent past. And I can also, look at a graphical view. So I have that graph being shown to me here, and then I can save this. And all of these readings here, are about operating hours. So I'm just going to enter that and quickly finish this particular round for you. So you see how simple it is. So you have access to the historical information. You have the last reading. You have a summary of how many readings, how many recorded, how many pending. And once you're done with all that, right, you can just go back here and then you can do a submit button, right? Now here, when I do a submit, what I'm going to show you is the ability to submit this in the background and what it really means, right? So when I submit in the background, what the application allows me to do is navigate and do continue to perform other activities in the application while the application looks for connectivity whenever it is available and then does a synchronization with the backend system. So I don't really have to wait till the job gets submitted, but I can continue to use the application, and the application ensures that whenever there's connectivity to the enterprise system, the data from the application will be synchronized to the backend. So it's as simple as that.
Hey Praveen, I suggest you move to Q&A real quick here.
Okay, sure. So just one thing that I'd like to show you before moving on to the Q&A is one of the inventory applications that I have. This is something which I quickly wanted to touch upon. Here we have the ability to also automate a lot of your warehouse activities. Could be receiving, storage location movements, process movements, stock overviews, and physical inventory. Right? So I'm just going to quickly show you what a stock overview looks like. So let's say you have a stock overview, and then I have a scanner with me which scans QR codes. So this is my QR code that I'm going to be scanning here. And then so when I come into the app and then okay, let me just bring on the scanner here. Okay, and then I can do a get stock. So once I do a stock lookup, what happens is I'm connecting to the enterprise system and bringing up all the stock information for this particular material with the batch information, manufacture and expiry date. And when I click on a particular line item, I can also look at all the material movements that have happened for this particular material. So this is just a sneak peek at the inventory solution. I think there are a lot of other processes that you may want to automate in your systems. But yeah, so having said that, I'm just going to stop my presentation here, and then I'm going to take questions from the participants. Okay. Okay. So one of the questions that I have from one of the participants is, what is the kind of pricing models that we have for the solution? Okay. So the pricing that we have for these suite of applications is very flexible. We have both SaaS-based model where you could license this application products on a per user per month basis, or you could also have a perpetual license that you could acquire upfront. So at Unwired, we believe that one price suits all kind of thing doesn't work. We are very flexible in the way we do our pricing. Yes, so we can always have a discussion, a detailed discussion, wherein we can choose the best model that suits your requirements. We can definitely do that.
Okay, so maybe I can jump in here. So this is Alok Pan. I'm CEO of Unwired. Some of you know me. We just want to remind everybody that we do have the free POC for all attendees. So just email one of us, and we can talk about how we can enable a free proof of concept. So if there are no questions, we do have 4 minutes. Praveen, maybe you can complete the demo of this. Maybe show the cycle counts or something. It's a big pain. Maybe take 3-4 minutes, and then we can close out the webinar.
Yes, definitely, Alok. So yeah, so one of the other processes that people find very difficult in their warehouses is the physical inventory or the cycle count. What we have is the ability to access all these documents at the convenience of your devices, and then we could fetch these. Okay. So maybe I don't have test data for this one. So let's just take a look. Okay, so we have some documents here. Let's say I pick document 47 and then do a get document, get details, right? So in this physical inventory document, there's just one document available, one material in this document whose count that I can easily update. And then I can just save it. And once I've saved it, what I can also do is do a document difference to see if the book quantity is any different from the counted quantity. So when I hit this button here, differences. So I can see a difference in the quantity, the book quantity versus the counted quantity, where there's a deficit of about 89 units, and also there's a difference in amount of $210 US, right? So this is how physical inventory counts can be kind of simplified. And if you have go back, yes. We also have the ability to print barcode labels from your devices. So we provide you integration with devices of your choice. It could be a Honeywell printer, O'Neill, Brother, or Zebra printers, doesn't matter. So any printer, we will do a integration with the applications. It could be on Windows, iOS, or Android, doesn't matter. Yes, and also when it comes to scanning, so scanning also can be done with a handheld scanner or with your cameras. So that shouldn't be a problem either. So this is just an introduction to some of these capabilities that we have in our suite of applications. But if you really want to deep dive into any one of these solutions or any one of these processes and how we could customize this to your business activities, please feel free to reach out. So Sushil is going to be sending out the link to the webinar with some supporting documentation as well. Please feel free to reach out to me or Sushil or Alok, and then we can get into a much more detailed session to discuss this. So I would like to thank all of you for taking your time today and then attending this webinar. So like I said again, please feel free to reach out to any of us, and we will be happy to have a deep dive into any of these topics that you might be interested in. Thank you all once again for your time, and have a great day. Goodbye.